doing my best. I showed up. I know I might be tested. I showed up. You may want more, but I'm no less than you. Showed up. Ooh. Will I ever finish what I've started? Or will it wilt and wither over time? Or will it transform into something far beyond prosaic? Or is it just a piece of glass in a brilliant mosaic? I'm here, I'm doing my best. I know I might be tested. You may want more, but I'm no less than you. So I'll just sit here in my feelings, knowing who I am is enough. So I'll just sit here and relish in the beauty of imperfection. That is art, that is soul, that is human. Art, soul, 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 human. 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 human. Art, soul,
Friends, good morning. And welcome to worship here in the sanctuary, the historic sanctuary, the Fountain Street Church in Grand Rapids, Michigan. My name is Nathan Danis, and I'm going to be leading us through worship today with a little help from my friend. Hey, Google Bear, this one has no fear. That's right. Good. All right. Well, we're getting more. Okay. These are mine. These aren't random children. So, hey, guys. This is good. They've got a little bit of a violin recital coming up, so we'll call this part of that practice. This summer, we have had an opportunity to welcome a lot of guest musicians into our worship services here in the sanctuary. Today, we have Hannah Lane with us today. Hannah is a singer-songwriter from Grand Rapids, Michigan. Hannah is an ethereal soul singer, and I can't think of a better presence to bring into worship today. Hannah's a pianist and a loop artist, and she began singing and songwriting at a very young age, taking influence from her father, who's also a singer and a guitarist. I read that most of her songwriting today comes from experimentation with looping, her practice of yoga and meditation, love of nature, and a keen awareness of herself as a woman living in a world in need of healing. Her latest album is called Unfolding. It's available. You can see the bulletin for more information as well. And I know that she has albums and merchandise available after worship as well. So make sure you hang around and meet her. I know that Hannah's music means a great deal to the chapel community. And I'm so pleased that some of the gifts of that community, that 9:30 worship service, are joining us now in the sanctuary and cross-pollinating, and we get to share in some of their joy as well. A lot of you go to that 9:30 service and the 11 a.m. service, and I want to encourage more of you to consider doing the same. I know that there is a lot of beauty that happens there as well, and we get to experience some of that today. Specifically today in worship, I've asked Hannah to guide us through our moment of silence and meditation and prayer, and so that will be part of our worship service as well. But I know, can we again show our appreciation for Hannah Lane for joining us today? Another appreciation, over 30 people showed up yesterday to clean the church from top to bottom. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And I also want to thank Jamie McDaniels, our property director, for helping lead that crew and share a bit of the work that needs to be done around here. We have a beautiful home, and I appreciate all of you who helped take care of it. The summer camp that is going on at the Character School is really happening. It is amazing. I can't believe the number of kids that I see up there every day. This week, again, they did art and music, and those kids did an altarscape again with Angela Swan, one of our resident artists today. It's up here. This week, I know that the summer campers learned about empathy, and they worked with staff to make this piece. Angela included some of her artwork as well, a moment in her life when she reacted or responded to somebody asking for help. That program, that summer camp program, is centered around the values of humanism, empathy, sharing, and those kids and the facilitators share with each other. They both grow and learn through this process. It is extremely real, and it is exactly what I expected from this wonderful Character School staff that we have. Tremendous. Just a couple of things that are coming up in the life of this church. First, a request for patience and a reminder. I know that the print in the inserts on the bulletin is small. I know it's small. I see you. I hear you. Cassie and Nathan do the bulletin themselves. We don't have a typesetter or a designer or anything to do that work. And so as Cassie and neither of us have a background in this sort of thing, we've been doing our very best. So we ask for your patience. But also there are always large print bulletins available from an usher. You can always request one of those. And just a reminder that our new hearing assistance system is now online and live. You can talk to an usher or one of our AV technicians about that system if you would benefit from that. And I know that some of you are already using it, and I hope that it's going well, and I hope you'll give us feedback if it's not. Today after worship, there's a lot going on, but a couple of events just to remind you. You are signed up for the archive training. That's going to be at 12:30 following the service in the archives. So just meet our staff down there following worship if you're signed up for archive training. If you're not signed up for that, give us a call at the office and learn more about it. If you like reading old stuff, like I do, some of the stuff I read is really old. You won't encounter too much of that, but you'll learn a lot about the history of the church. Also following worship is a Together West Michigan community conversation. These are very brief conversations that are happening with our Together West Michigan facilitators. These are just sharing sessions about where you see need of justice in this community. The TWM conversations are a great way to meet other Fountain Streeters too. So if you're new here and you're looking for something to do, the TWM facilitators will be in the narthex after worship, and they'll guide you on your way. All right, you know what? We're getting there. This is good. This is good. Next Sunday, next Sunday we're going to open the membership book, too. I wanted to make sure that you're aware next Sunday we're going to open that up. You don't have to sign the membership book during worship, but you can if you want. Otherwise, you can sign it after worship. Join the church. It's worth it. It's good. Okay. Friends, receive this opening blessing and this word of peace and return it to me if you wish, and then we'll continue to bless one another. Friends, peace be with you. Let's go ahead and greet each other with words of peace. Hey, peace, guys. Good job. All right, come on, you guys. Doing good. Hey, how's it going, Parker? Good to see you, buddy. Parker, good morning. Peace be with you. Peace. All right, I'm going to have you guys come over here and have a seat. That was good, yeah. Excuse me, they're good. Peace, 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 peace. You'll have one in just a minute, Boo Boo Bear.
Oh no, your own children would try and upstage you here.
These are the shy ones, too, so I'm a little nervous about that.
You're doing all the right things.
Thank you, Linda.
Competition this morning, peace.
Peace, brother. They would laugh at me if I did that. Yep. All right, let's go ahead and turn in our bulletin inserts and sing together this amazing hymn, Blue Boat Home. I know it's many of our favorites, and Noah's going to lead us from the piano. Friends, you may be seated. If you are a child, a young person, a kiddo, I want to invite you to come forward and join me up here on the steps before character school. Hey, yep, carefully on the steps. And yes, we'll give you a minute to make your way down. Yes, good morning, welcome. Yes. Awesome. Excellent. This is great. Yeah. Good morning, everyone. I see many angels in our midst. You knew what I was going to say before I said it. You are doing great. Awesome. I see some of you have angel wings, probably from summer camp. That is amazing. How many of you have ever seen a picture of an angel in this sanctuary? Yes. You're pointing, some of you. Yep, up there. That's one. There's another one up there, too. Over there on the other side, there's two angels. Yep. Those are beautiful. Yeah. I want to show you a couple of other cool angels up here in these windows. They're a little bit hard to see, but in these second windows here in the middle, you'll see angels talking to people in there. Yep. And there's all those angels. Yeah, we talked about the musical angels a while ago. There's a lot of angels in here. I haven't even found them all. I've heard there's over 100 pictures of angels in this room. And I know that this week you've been talking about angels and you're going to be talking about it in character school. Angels are symbols for strangers who help us. And one of the things that we do here at Fountain Street Church, we all come together, and the first time we come here, or maybe the second time we come here, we're strangers. We don't know everybody here yet, but we meet people, and we behave like angels with each other. We help each other. And this is a place where we can go to remind ourselves that even when we're strangers, we can be angels with each other, and that strangers are often angels who come into our lives. We just haven't met them yet. We haven't learned their name yet. And so when you're exploring the church, or you're having fun this week, or you're at camp, or whatever you're doing this week, I want you to see if you can find pictures of angels, and I want you to try to remember this blessing. Remember, a blessing is just a hope. A blessing is a hope that we're going to carry around this week. Okay, so I'm going to give you the blessing. You can repeat it back to me, and then we're going to head off to character school, okay? So go ahead, and you can raise a hand if you want to. Some people do that. And just repeat after me this hope, okay? This week, we will show up as angels. Okay, good job, y'all. You can make your way to character school. Follow the banner. Yes, and who's going to tell you out? We'll see you all in a little bit.
Good morning. Our reading this morning comes from the Hebrew Bible, the book of Genesis, chapter 18. It came to pass that the Lord appeared to Abraham once when Abraham and Sarah were dwelling in the plains of Mamre. As Abraham sat in the tent door during the heat of the day, he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood by him. When he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed himself toward the ground.
My Lord, said Abraham, if I have found favor in your sight, please do not pass your servant by. Let a little water be brought, so that you may wash your feet and rest yourselves under the tree. And I will bring a bit of bread, so that you may refresh yourselves. This is why you have passed your servant's way. After that, you may continue on your way.
Yes, they replied, you may do as you have said.
So Abraham hurried into the tent and said to Sarah, Quick, Prepare 3 measures of fine flour, knead it, and bake some bread.
Meanwhile, Abraham ran to the herd, selected a tender and choice calf, and gave it to a servant who hurried to prepare it. Then Abraham brought curds and milk and the calf that had been prepared, and he set them before the men and stood by them under the tree as they ate. The 3 guests asked Abraham, "Where is your wife Sarah?"
"There, in the tent," he replied.
Then the Lord said, "I will surely return to you at this time next year, and your wife Sarah will have a son."
And as they spoke, Sarah stood in the tent door, listening.
Friends, at this time, let us open our hearts and minds and dwell together in silence, meditation, and reflection. and I are part of the world, which is to say part of the body, though it doesn't always feel that way. And because of this, I want you to be well, because I want to be well. Fountain Street Church, happy Sunday. Here's a quote. See how this strikes you. We shouldn't reflect on the wickedness of human beings. Instead, we should look to the image of God that is within them, an image that will cover and obliterate their faults, an image that by its beauty and dignity will bring us to love and embrace them. John Calvin. Seems like some people missed the boat on that one. I struggle with this, especially lately. The images on the news, social media, these roving bands of ICE agents don't know where they came from, don't understand what's happening. Their faces are covered. We've seen them attacking Americans in the streets of the cities, assaulting people, tearing families apart, kidnapping people. Can I see anything other than wickedness? I wonder about this terrible thing that's happening, this assault on human beings by jackbooted thugs in our cities. Part of me thinks that this is a manifestation of something that's been building for a very long time in our culture. What if this is the end result of hatred or fear of the stranger danger, this thing that's been talked about for years? What if this is the sort of fruit of that poisonous tree? A former minister of this church, Duncan Littlefair, who served here from 1943 to, through 1979, and then stayed here to teach and preach. He wrote and published a book in 1972 called The Glory Within You. Looks like this. And it was his proposal, mostly written in the late 60s, but it was a proposal for new ways of thinking about spirituality and morality in American society and the way that we relate to each other. One of the things that I love about this book is that oftentimes in it is concrete and measurable. He is a very practical person, and he provides metrics by which we can think about these things. He proposed his concepts for new ways of framing our moral code. He frames them in the negative. There's always "thou shalt not." That was kind of his thing. He says, do not seek to possess. Do not diminish another person or group. And he writes simply, do not betray your humanity. Do not betray your humanity. He's concerned with our society because he believed that we were beginning to use anonymity as a shield in order to reduce our relationships down to a mechanistic level. Now, there was no homelessness crisis in 1972 like we have today. Nothing of the sort. The homelessness crisis that we have in American cities today is really a product of the 1990s. I think anyone who, if you took somebody who lived and worked in this city in maybe 1968 or 69 and you transported them here today, they would be absolutely horrified by what they see. People sleeping rough on the streets. But I'm guilty of moving around this city with blinders on because I have become accustomed to seeing this. It's not normal. But anonymity hides the despair and the forced poverty. It shields me from this manufactured crisis, this homelessness crisis, that is not a product of natural forces. It's an intentional crisis that forces some of us to sleep on the streets. And I think I'm also still afraid I'm still afraid of strangers sometimes. I think that human beings have a natural inclination toward being good and doing good and caring for others and themselves. And I think that human beings evolved to be this way. And I think that human beings have to be tricked or indoctrinated into behaving badly, into being impassive toward other people's needs. They've got to be tricked or taught how to be cruel to other people. I think that this is the default position of the wisdom of the prophets and the wisdom of the prophecies and the stories from the Bible as well. I think that the position of the wisdom of our ancient texts is that we've got to forget something within us in order to learn something bad. I think that this is connected to the nature of evil, in fact. The teachings come as warnings frequently as to not stray or don't forget to. The idea is we know what's good, you know what's good, and you've got to get tricked into doing evil, and the remedy is to be reminded of who we really are. These are heuristics, they're instructions, they're rules of thumb. I am a person who reads the instructions. I don't always know why the instruction is given there, but I know it was important enough for somebody to write it down. I read the little booklets that come with my appliances and gadgets. I buy them. Before I put the batteries in, I read the thing. I wasn't always this way, but life will teach you things. Huh? My new chainsaw, I was really excited about this chainsaw. It was going to change my life. It came with a whole textbook. And in there was a diagram. It was like a little chalk outline of a human body. And it had a dot on it that corresponded to the location of every reported chainsaw injury in the U.S. last year. It did. 36,000 little dots. I took that diagram and I laminated it and I nailed it to the wall. It's right where I keep my safety gear. I read the instructions. So I take myths and legends seriously. For the same reason. From time to time, we discover a material reason that a thing is this way or a piece of information is this way. I'm not a scientist. I've never claimed to be a scientist. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a mechanic. I read the instructions. I don't need to understand the why of everything before I'm willing to trust the experts. Don't mix bleach with vinegar. Okay. I don't store my oily rags in a bucket. When I received my first table saw, it was a hand-me-down table saw, and I got it from my older brother, and he looked at me in the eyes, and he said the words that our father had said to him, and I think his father said to him, is presumably the words said from person to person all the way back to Samuel Miller in 1777, the inventor of the table saw. And he said, listen to me, not even one beer. Good. We live in an age where it's ironic to me. The sum total of the world's knowledge, we carry it around in a device that fits in our pocket. But when it comes to heeding the warnings of 15,000 generations of anatomically modern humans, we go, well, figure it out, you know. In the book of Hebrews, the Apostle Paul is trying to remind the readers, not teach them, remind them that they shouldn't be afraid to show hospitality to strangers. In fact, that's an important thing to do. Hebrews 13, do not forget to show hospitality to strangers, for by doing so, some have entertained angels without realizing it. He uses a word in there. He says xenophilia. We don't use that word. We talk about xenophobia. But Paul writes about xenophilia. That's the actual word that he uses for hospitality. His love of stranger. Don't forget to practice xenophilia. Now he's referring back to the stories that he was raised reading, the countless stories from the Hebrew Bible. I just chose one of them at random to hear today. This story of Abraham and Sarah, and some strangers appear, and before anybody does anything, they take care of them. They share food and water and shelter. And they don't ask anything in return. And lo and behold, it turns out that those strangers are actually God. Well, It's like the Joan Osborne song from the 90s. Or maybe they're angels, right? It's all predicated on hospitality. Remembering something that we forgot. Strangers are not the enemy. Strangers are not the enemy. This is central to the Bible from cover to cover. In every book, and in some books dedicate entire chapters to this message. The people trying to lie about this book in order to turn it into a weapon, they take that stuff out of it. We read about most of you know, the destruction of the city of Sodom, and the story of Sodom and Gomorrah. This is a lie that was perpetuated for centuries, that it had something to do with homosexuality. This is not about that. The sin of the city of Sodom was inhospitality. Prophet Ezekiel, chapter 16, this was the sin of the city of Sodom. The people had ease and fullness of bread, yet they did not strengthen the poor and the needy. So the people who are trying to write this and give this to the future, inhospitality wasn't just cruel or prideful or lazy. It was dangerous. It was dangerous. It's worth sorting out in our lives, our community, our city, what we think and feel about strangers, how we treat them. I don't teach my children to be afraid of strangers. I don't teach stranger danger in our family. I know it's a lingering habit in American parenting. God, I wish we could fix this. But I'm familiar with the roots. I grew up in the 1980s. It's a very different time. And I have a fuzzy memory of the thing that was called the Satanic Panic. It happened in the 80s and in the 90s. It was on the news. I remember my parents thinking it was about one of the dumbest things they'd ever seen on TV. But it was a big thing. It was an idea that was being sold by pop psychologists. Books were written and sold in great batches. Money was made over this stuff. The idea was that in America, there were these leagues of secret Satan worshipers that were abusing children and doing rituals and doing horrible things. Of course, now we know that there is horrible things taking place, and it's taking place in front of our eyes. But I remember an evening at home, this was all connected to things that were harmless in order to trick us into hating things that were harmless. There was people who believed that the board game, that Dungeons and Dragons was part of this. It's madness to me. I remember when I was a child, my older brother and his friends coming over to the house and playing Dungeons and Dragons in the living room. And I knew about this satanic thing, and I remember asking my dad, I was probably sitting in the easy chair watching Lawrence Welk or something, and I said, is this the game, is that stuff for Satan? And he said, no, that stuff is for nerds. I played Dungeons and Dragons today, so just full disclosure. But he knew it was a board game for people who grew up reading The Lord of the Rings. And he knew that this panic was about as real a danger as ghosts and goblins. It was a fetter, a stumbling block, a boogeyman that was going to would result in social disability, to raise children to be afraid of strangers. Fear was an advertising campaign. Strangers were not the danger. We have to be taught to fear strangers. We have to be sold on the idea that the world is dangerous. And when these ideas are given to us by the people who raise us from childhood, it can take decades to undo that damage. I've spent 15 years of my life working with congregations that are filled with beautiful, kind, good-hearted people. Congregations with intelligent people, free-thinking people, and open-minded people, and liberals and progressives and radicals, and still I've encountered these phantom barriers. Now, early in my career, I thought I could solve this with data, with math. I would say, you're not in danger. I'd preach. You're not in danger. You're being tricked. I'd shout. They're trying to trick you into being afraid of the people who actually are in danger. I would serve in a rural congregation, in a rural church, and they'd be afraid of the city. The city. A whole generation of Hollywood movies convince them that the city's a dangerous place. And then you look at the data, and it just ain't so. It just ain't so. You're over twice as likely to die from a car accident in the countryside than in the city. I'm not making that up. The rates of cancer, heart disease, stroke are higher in rural areas. The risk of suicide is substantially higher in small towns than it is in big cities. And the per capita, the difference between the rates of interpersonal violence is jaw-dropping. We could compare the rural areas in northwest Louisiana, right, to any city. They like to pick on San Francisco these days, so I looked up the data, okay? The murder rate in the rural area in northwest Louisiana is 6 times higher than in the city of San Francisco. All right, so now don't get being afraid of Louisiana. The Red River in Shreveport is about the loveliest place that you're ever going to see. And that's another problem that maybe we have. So today, right now, I'm raising my kids in a so-called red part of the county. And I come downtown, and people say, aren't you concerned about you live in that area, the voters, I know what you're saying. God, that red state, blue state thing did a number on us. I am deeply concerned about the fact that 1 in 5 of my neighbors voted for Donald Trump. Yeah, that is a concern. And if I lived downtown, it would be closer to 1 in 6. And that fraction of the population I'm concerned about, they got tricked by a man who spent his entire life tricking people. I'm concerned. I'm not surprised, but I'm concerned. But no person is so low as to be reliably judged by the political choice made under the influence of a con man and a convicted felon. My neighbors are lovely because they're people. They're the picture of beauty and dignity, just like John Calvin said. Right? The reality is that crime and danger in America are down across the board. We're safer in America than we've ever been before. Compared to 30 years ago, 1993, robbery is down 75%. That's 75%. Murder rates and the rate of all the forms of violent crime in America have plummeted by half in 30 years. Our ancestors carved warnings to us into the granite rocks of stone cliffs, and they etched wisdom into ancient scrolls by the flickering light of oil lamps. Do not neglect to show hospitality to strangers. Your humanity may depend on it. The gift of prophecy is not about telling the future. Remember, prophecy is not about predicting the future, telling the future, looking into a crystal ball. It is about telling the truth. There's a deep and abiding concern in the wisdom that we've been given by the generations, person to person, Genesis to Revelation, and the rest of it, framed as prophecy. How we treat strangers, guests, outsiders, others, is how we shape the future of our own lives, and our society, and our species, and our planet. Abraham sees 3 strangers and runs to them. Despite his poverty and difficulties, he begs them to receive his hospitality and gives them water and food. And this is, beloveds, you've got everything that you need to change the world. But don't let a thing within you be a fetter or a stumbling block. We know the tasks ahead. We've been given tools to do the work. Love of stranger, so rare and uncommon and precious in these days, is the moral equivalent of walking around with a winning lottery ticket in your pocket. And yet, it costs us nothing. It asks nothing of us that we just say that we put down our burden of fear, anxiety. Put it down. Be liberated. Be free. Let us become unfettered. Empathy will cure our alienation. And then we will turn and be healed. And we will go out there as agents of justice and peace and joy. Amen. At this time, I want to invite the ushers to come forward and collect any gifts or offerings that you've brought today to support this church and the important work that Fountain Street does in the community. And I invite you to turn your hearts again to Hannah Lane.
soft, gentle breeze, the leaves rustling and coloring the trees. Open my eyes, and what do I see? It's all me. What I am is an ocean tide. Who I am is a force of life. What is me is connected to everything, everything. That's me, 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 that's
Friends, remember that you have everything that you need. Remember who you are. Remember that there is work to do. Let us go forth as one people, one heart, one body, and one world, in peace, love, and joy. So may it be. Amen.
Body filled with pins and needles. You've got hands to release them, a heart to eat them. Dreams calling with copper beetles. Is it a bad omen or a message to carry on? Open up your eyes, my flower, with the needles gone. You can see there's beauty all around. Open up your eyes, my flower, with the needles gone. You can see but you're holding a candle that will never cease to burn for you. Dreams are calling you to heal your past. Let go of who you think you are. Every breath start anew. Throw your laundry list in with the load of complaints. Scrub it free of debris that keeps you from seeing clearly. Every choice you take, word you make, hold it dearly in your heart. It is a part of you. Open up your eyes, my flower. With the needles gone, you can see there's beauty all around. Open up your eyes, my flower. With the needles gone, you can see there's beauty all around. Open up your eyes, my flower. With the needles gone, you can see there's beauty all around. Open up your eyes, my flower. With the needles gone, you can see there's beauty all around. Throw your pain to the wind. Watch it go, echo